With us now, Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, longtime ardent supporter of Ukraine, also a friend of President Trump's. Good to see you. Welcome.
Honored to be on your show.
Thank you very much. Is this deal that's on the table in Saudi Arabia a good deal for Ukraine? Predictions whether the Russians will take it?
So I've been one of the tiny minority of European commentators, politicians, journalists, to think that actually there was method in the madness of Donald Trump and that he did have a plan. And I've always been confident that what he was trying to do was get to a situation where he could say the Ukrainians have signed up to some sensible things, and they have. And this is a good deal for Ukraine. To your point, this means that they have an economic partnership, a long-term economic partnership with the most powerful, richest country on earth in the agreement on resources, on minerals. Plus, they have the prospect of engagement by European countries led by Britain and France to fortify them, turn them into a steel-quilled porcupine so they can never be attacked again. So they've got the beginnings of quite important security guarantees, the ability as a free, sovereign country, as it says in the minerals agreement, to seek their relationships as they choose, as a free country, as a sovereign country, with NATO, with the EU, whatever destiny they choose in the West.
I love that.
That's I think the positive aspects of this. The great question is, what will Putin say, and how much pressure is the West, and particularly the United States, going to put Putin under to get him to sign up to this vision? And he won't like it.
No, he won't like it. And you come from a unique position of moral clarity on this. You showed up in Kyiv in the month or two after the invasion. I was covering and anchoring during that time. I remembered it. It was a historic visit. It was one that showed, I think, great personal courage by you. It also, you really put yourself out there in terms of what you said was most important. August of 2022. So you have a pedestal from which to speak. Will Donald Trump be as tough on Putin to agree to this ceasefire as he has been on Zelensky?
I just repeat what I've said. I'm a believer in the President Donald Trump's ability to get things done. When I was Foreign Secretary, I saw how he dealt with Ukraine. This was the guy who gave the Ukrainians the Javelin shoulder-launched anti-tank missiles, indispensable to the Ukrainians in fighting the Russians, getting them out of the Kiev area. I think, look, I may be proved wrong, but I think—
You're optimistic.
I think Donald Trump is the kind of president who has the guts to stand up to Putin and say, look, I've put a lot of pressure on the Ukrainians. We've all seen it. The world has seen the pressure that they've been under in the last 10 days or so. They've moved a long way for peace. Now, Putin, it's your turn. And I think he's in a very strong position to exert leverage on the Russians now. Huge economic pressure he can put, a pressure with the oil price, driving down the oil price. That would cut the legs out from under Putin. All sorts of things that Donald Trump, President of the United States, can do now really to turn the heat on Putin and put the squeeze on him.
Okay. Will Trump get the credit I think you think he deserves if there's a ceasefire deal?
Look, I think that, credit's perhaps not the most important thing right now. I do think, as it happens, he's done the right thing. I think that where we were going, we were in a situation where we were backing the Ukrainians, we were giving them arms, we were holding their coats while they got on and fought the Russians. They were dying. It was a very bloody conflict, as the president has said. But we weren't doing enough to help them win. And in a way, it was cruel. And I'm thinking what Donald Trump has tried to do is to bring an end to that stalemate with a deal that protects Ukraine as a free, sovereign and secure country, as it says in this agreement. And, I'm not going to say that the Ukrainians are going to be in a position to recapture every bit of the 1991 boundaries of Ukraine.
We all know that.
We all know that. But, to come out of this with a free, sovereign, secure Ukraine, that's a massive, massive prize. And the question now is, as I said, right, can we put the squeeze on Putin to agree. And I think that the president can.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.